Before he even made a little cameo appearance in the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies in the MCU, he had his own movie, which is now quacked up to be, and it's turning 35 years old today. One of the worst films of all time turning 35. But I'm asking you, is it really still the worst film of all time? Let's talk about Howard the Duck. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1986 sci-fi comedy flick, Howard the Duck, released by Universal for Lucasfilm Limited. That's right, you heard me correctly. George Lucas's company that had brought us Star Wars and Indiana Jones worked on this here flick. Directed by Willard Huyck, or how the hell you pronounce that name. The film stars Lea Thompson along with Jeffrey Jones and Tim Robbins. And this film is based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name. The film was produced by Gloria Katz and written by her and the director. And George Lucas was executive producer. Now, the screenplay for this was originally intended to be an anime film, but the film adaptation became a live-action one because of a contractual obligation. Yeah. This was the first attempt at a theatrical release for a Marvel character since the Captain America serial of 1944. There have been several TV adaptations of Marvel characters during the preceding 21 years, like The Incredible Hulk, for example. But anyway, now Lucas had proposed adapting the comic book following the production of his 1973 flick American Graffiti. But there have been multiple production difficulties and mixed response to test screenings, and soon the film got released on August 1st. However, upon its release, it was a major dud. It was criticized for humor, performances, inconsistent tone, and the appearance of the title character, though the effects and the soundtrack were, however, praised. In the years since, it has been considered among the worst films of all time, but has also developed a cult following. Well, I agree and what have you, but I've seen worser movies than this, you know. So, if you're ready, let's get into our story. Howard the Duck, 27 years old and lives on Duck World, a planet similar to Earth but inhabited by anthropomorphic ducks and orbited by twin moons. As he's reading his Play Duck magazine in his living room, his armchair suddenly propels him out of his apartment building and into outer space, eventually landing on Earth in Cleveland, Ohio. Upon arriving, Howard encounters a woman being attacked by thugs, whom he defeats using a unique style of martial arts oddly called Quack Fu. The woman introduces herself as Beverly Switzler and decides to take Howard to her apartment and let him spend the night. The following day, Beverly takes Howard to Phil Blumbert, a scientist who Beverly hopes can help Howard return to his world. After Phil is revealed to be only a janitor, Howard resigns himself to life on Earth and rejects Beverly's aid. He soon applies for a job as a janitor at a local romance bar, but eventually quits and returns to Beverly, who plays in a band called Cherry Bomb. At the club where the band is performing, Howard comes across their manager and confronts him when he insults the band. A fight breaks out in which Howard wins. Howard rejoins Beverly backstage after the band's performance and accompanies her back to her apartment, where Beverly persuades him to be the band's new manager. The two begin to flirt, but they are interrupted by Blumbert and two of his colleagues, who reveal that a laser spectroscope they were inventing was aimed at Howard's planet and transported him to Earth when it was activated. They theorize that Howard can be sent back to his world through a reversal of the same process. Upon their arrival at the laboratory, the laser spectroscope malfunctions upon activation, raising the possibility of something else being transported to Earth. At this point, Dr. Walter Jing is possessed by a life form from a distant region of space. When they visit a diner, the creature introduces itself as a dark overlord of the universe and demonstrates its developing mental powers by destroying the table, utensil, and condiments. A fight ensues when a group of truckers in the diner begin to insult Howard, and Howard is captured and is almost killed by the diner chef. But the Dark Overlord destroys the diner and escapes with Beverly. Now for the final act and ending. Procedure like always, 5 seconds to stop. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, which I hope you had the guts to, continue on. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Howard locates Phil, who is arrested for his presence at the laboratory with no security clearance. After they escape, they discover an ultralight aircraft which they use to search for the Dark Overlord and Beverly. At the laboratory, the Dark Overlord plans to transfer another of his kind into Beverly's body with a dimension machine. Howard and Phil arrive and seemingly destroy the Dark Overlord with an experimental neutron disintegrator, but the creature is merely forced out of Jennings' body and now attacks them in its true form. Howard fires the neutron disintegrator at the hideous beast, obliterating him, and then destroys the laser spectroscope, preventing more Dark Overlords from arriving on Earth, but also ruining his only chance of return to Duckworld. Howard then becomes Beverly's manager, hires Phil as an employee on her tour, and performs Where on stage doing Little Number She Wrote for Howard himself, which was Howard the Duck in the story. So, what did I think of Howard the Duck? Well, I had lesser memories of this, but after I got it on DVD, of course, this is the special edition that came out in 2009. I actually bought this at Walmart in 2011, which, of course, was the film's 25th anniversary. I'd watched it a couple times, but I just recently watched it again, and well, it's proved to have more funnier stuff than I can even imagine. I know that a lot of people weren't too thrilled with the humor and what have you, and I completely understand, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was just too crazy. The appearance of Howard might be a little, well, but even so, he's a little crazy though, but hey, this is Howard the Duck we're talking about here, people. Now, and he was played by various people. Now, Ed Gale was the suit performer, and Jordan Prentice was an additional suit performer. While there were various people who were puppeteers for Howard: Tim Rose, Steve Sleep, Peter Baird, Mary Wells, and Lisa Sturz, while Chip Zien voiced Howard. Playing Beverly is Lea Thompson, who recently played Lorraine, the young Lorraine, in Universal's previous attempt, which was Back to the Future, which came out the previous year. Playing Phil is Tim Robbins, and playing Jennings is Jeffrey Jones, who had previously appeared in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's also several others, include other people who appear in this. David Paymer, I've seen him in numerous movies. Paul Guilfoyle, way before CSI. Tommy Swerdlow, who appeared in the original Child's Play. Yeah, there's so many others. Let's see. Brian Steele was uncredited doing the voice of the Dark Overlords of the universe. Of course, he worked on some of the creatures for Hellboy. But anyway, overall, despite what happened and what have you, the reception, all that jazz, it still became a cult favorite and has done pretty darn big and what have you. Let's see. Anyway, the film went on to make 37 million worldwide. But anyway, There was also a book of this written by former National Lampoon editor Ellis Weiner. There would also be a video game, but only available for the ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and Apple II systems. Yeah, and then the following year there was also an, let's see, for another ZX Spectrum and Amstrad CPC. But however, it got this as well. Now, also another thing I should point out that the music was done by John Barry, who, of course, yes, that's the same. I believe that's the same John Barry who also worked on the James Bond movies and what have you. Although some of it was replaced by material composed by Sylvester LeVay, most notably the music for the scene where Howard and Phil fly the ultralight, which that was like this here glider thing, well, motorized glider anyway. Thomas Dolby, most of you know him best from that little number She Blinded Me with Science, wrote the film's songs and chose the members of Cherry Bomb. Yeah, really something. So anyway, well, a pretty good soundtrack. The characters aren't too bad. I did like some of the humor and what have you. It might have been hit or miss. But overall, it has so much craziness, and I don't know. It's like you're seeing kind of a more crazier type of film, like crazier type of sci-fi flick. Not quite like Star Wars, but coming close. So, with all that said, would I recommend Howard the Duck? Well, you be the judge. Well, I go between you be the judge and give it a one-time watch. If you're not, but I would say no. But if you've seen the character, as he later appear in Guardians of the Galaxy in a post-credit scene, yeah, I'd say sure. But I'd say again, give it a one-time watch. And if you're not satisfied, don't bother with this movie again. Okay? But it is pretty funny, though. So, what are your thoughts on Howard the Duck? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my ranking of all the films I watched for the first time in July of 2021. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to check out some of these other videos I've already done. In the upper left-hand corner is the review I did for a James Bond flick that would come out the following year after this, that being The Living Daylights, or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of the original Back to the Future, or if you would like, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the original Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm looking forward to seeing the Suicide Squad since it's directed by the same guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, next weekend. Looking forward to it. In the bottom right hand corner is a button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.